am. God is with us. Well, today I'm sharing with you the tomato seeds for cherry tomatoes that I've started. And I will share with you my favorite cherry tomato, which is amongst these that I grow every 2 or 3 years because I like to try different stuff. I have the black vernissage. This is my tried and true favorite tomato in the cherry size. It's on the big size. It's almost a slicer. It's chocolate colored. It's got that rich, smoky, umami flavor. But it's dense. It's thick. It's meaty. It's not very sweet. But it's not tart at all. You know, it's the smokiness that makes it so good. It was a free seed from Baker Creek. They do not sell it anymore. They used to have a mixed vernissage collection. They don't even sell that anymore. And so I've been nursing this free pack of seeds for a decade. Let me see, do they say when I got it? I don't know. But it gave me seeds last year, and I got a plant growing in the garden now. And I've had it forever. And it's my favorite. So if I run out of seeds, I'm gonna have to buy some. So I've determined that I'm gonna save some seed this year because this pack is old. Baker Creek doesn't sell it anymore. And I don't know where I get it from, but this is an old Russian heirloom. See, they say 2-ounce tomatoes, so it's a little bigger than most cherries. Oh, I love this tomato. I love it. It's so good. I like to try the other vernissage, but I'd like to buy a mix. I don't want to buy I'm tired of having all these seed packets. I just want a mix of all the vernissage seeds. So, it's my favorite tomato. Oh, I should mention, this tomato is a monster. It's a tree eater. I put it next to my lemon tree, fully expecting to have tomatoes dangling right next to my lemons, which is perfect, for cooking. I mean, the whole tree. This thing quickly gets 6 foot. I mean, quickly. And then it goes on, to carry out its plan to take over the world. Yeah. That's my tomato. It doesn't get stopped by nematodes, which stops everything else. That might be why it's my favorite. It's consistent. The fruits never get any smaller and they never get any bigger. They're 2 inches. They're reliable. So if you having issues, it doesn't worry about drought. If I don't water it, once it gets 6 foot tall, the roots are probably down to the underground ocean, and it has learned how to water itself. Tomato after my own heart. Yes, I love her. Oh, only wish she was perennial. Wish she was a tomato tree. She's gorgeous. I'm trying this new one, just went online. It looks like it's a combination orange-green tomato. And, this one says it's loaded with flavor. So if you like good tasting tomatoes, when they start talking about taste all the time, that means a lot of people like the way they taste. So, and it was free. I paid for these tomatoes here, Ariga tomatoes. They sounded like they might be, tangy, sweet, productivity, resistance to cracking, vigorous vines, 2-ounce tomatoes, golden orange, 8 or 9 to a bunch. And it's from the 70s in East Germany. So they won't have nematodes in East Germany. So I don't know if this tomato will deal with that. But this is from Russia, and they don't have nematodes in Russia. But vigorous vines are usually the key for me to overcoming nematodes. So this sounded like I used to buy green zebra, and this says tangy sweet, and green zebra was tangy sweet, but it wasn't productive. So I decided to try Riga tomatoes this year. I don't know how to fake a German accent. Let me see. Let me see. Riga. Maybe. Sounds more like a Spanish accent. But Riga. Maybe. But it looks not all that delicious to me. But it then looks like it might be delicious. From the 70s, you know, people in the 70s were a little different. So, I don't know. They might have been out there doing some psychedelics and made this tomato for free love. You know, I don't know. But in any event, on to the next one. Sun Gold Select. It looks very similar to the Ariel, but this one, because it's a little bit more golden, does look delicious, you know. Looks good. The glistening on the fruit just looks so tasty. And this is a Sun Gold that is pretty stable, so I can save the seeds. And everybody loves Sun Gold, but I've never tasted one because I got to grow my own food. I'm not really in a tomato area because of the nematodes. And see, this one takes 80 days. Oh, so this was done by a German tomato breeder called Reinhard Kraft. Okay, my best German accent. But in any event, this is an orange cherry. They say it's one of the tastiest orange cherries. And it says the selection may occasionally produce red fruit. As long as they're tasty red fruit, I'm okay with it. I tried to grow it last year. It was not a strong plant in my garden. The plant, it wouldn't even get out the seed tray. It was slow growing. It was a problem. That was fall sown, so now I'm trying to trying to winter sow it now. It's the end of February, so it's still winter for a few weeks. Brad's Atomic Grape. This is a California tomato. And I got the seed in a trade. This looks delicious. I don't normally like the anthocyanin tomatoes, but something about this one looks delicious to me. And this is polarizing. Some people say it tastes good, and some people say it tastes nasty like all the other anthocyanin tomatoes. Some of us just love to hate anthocyanin tomatoes. So anything that looks technicolor, our minds say that's nasty. They say it's extraordinarily sweet and just amazing. Well, I'm just rooting for Wild Boar Farms to prove me wrong. So I got this in a trade. It is beautiful. It is a plum-shaped tomato. It's like a grape tomato. And see, it looks like a grape. And if that's good food, I will be amazed, but I will be happy, you know. That looks like something that I pass by in the garden. You know, maybe the birds won't eat it because they'll think it's poisonous, like I would have had I not bought the seed from a reputable source. Black cherry. This is a lot of people's favorite cherry tomato. It just looks like a traditional cherry tomato, but it's a chocolate color. It tastes good, but I prefer the taste of black vernissage. If you like a sweet, dark, smoky tomato, this is the one for you. But I like the more umami flavor of this one, and I like the bigger tomatoes, and I like lots of them. This one, it was good. I haven't grown it in a while. It's not an every year grow for me, but I'm growing it this year. Principal Borghese. These are the ones you grow when you want to do sun-dried tomatoes. I've never successfully grown this, but I'm trying again. My seeds are a couple of years old. Yeah, 21. They say plant it by 23. So my seeds are a couple of years old. my seeds last for decades. I'm planting seeds from 2012, 2014. They're sprouting in a week. So I don't have to worry about that. Matt's wild cherry tomato seeds. But then I plant my tomatoes. I will plant peppers with my tomatoes and eggplants, and I just leave those seeds for months. And as they come up, I pot them up and go from there. So, yeah. My technique is designed for me to get the strongest plants, not get one of every plant. The weak plants are the weak tomatoes, or weak in my area, I don't get. Matt's wild cherry tomato. This tomato is supposed to be prolific. It's supposed to be more of a giant than the vernissage that I grow. And this is from Mexico. It has a high sugar content. This was from a small seed house. And they say the flavor is superior, but it doesn't yield as well as modern tomatoes. So they say it's good for salsa and fresh eating. And they say it resists blight. I don't get blight. I don't have any water when I have tomatoes, so there's no way to get blight. If they can survive drought, which is my issue, then now you're talking. Kelka Flor, I got this one strictly because who doesn't want a tomato in 40 days? Yeah, who doesn't want that? And this looks like it's Swedish. Kellenberger Fruhi Liebe is indeterminate. Yeah. Non-stop fruit requiring support. Yeah. So it's indeterminate and it starts in 40 days. Hey, yeah, party over here. Now see, that's something to get me excited about. If I can plant a tomato and basically a month from now, I'm serving dinner. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I gotta have that one in my life. And if it works out, my short attention span, this tomato I could grow successfully because I have a 40-day attention span. I just don't have a 120-day attention span, growing it from seed, growing the plant to a certain size. This plant is going to be flowering and fruiting while I still got it in the cart. That will spur me to treat it better, And they say transplant one per pot, 18 to 36 inches apart in the garden. You got it. Kellenberger Furry Lieber Tomato. Okay. Wasserpon Peach. I grew this successfully once. And it was the squirrel's favorite. Needless to say, I got one. So I'm trying to grow more of them in order to have some for myself. I would just see them on the plant. And because they look like a peach, and the squirrel loves peaches, the neighbor has a peach tree. She thought I must now have a peach tree. And so she snitched every one of these as soon as they were ready. So I have to assume that they do taste similar to peaches. That's what I got to assume. I will have to talk to the squirrel and get a better review for you. Green Gage was a free seed from 2020. And it's a yellow tomato. And it's supposed to be really good. I don't know because I've never grown it successfully, but I'm trying again. I don't try with this one every year because it was a free seed and I don't know anything about it. But because it was a free seed and I have it, and I love cherry tomatoes. They're my favorite tomatoes to grow. I grew spoon tomatoes last year, and I adored it. They say the spoon tomatoes will come back. They say I'm going to have spoon tomatoes everywhere in my garden, and I'm 100% here for that. So I didn't plant any new spoon tomatoes because I'm just trusting them. Then we have blue ambrosia. This is a micro dwarf tomato. It only gets like 4 to 6 inches high, and of course it only produces cherry tomatoes, which are my favorites. I don't know if it's indeterminate or determinate. They say it's a trial. Maybe this isn't a dwarf. Maybe this isn't a micro dwarf. Okay, this is one of J&L Garden's special tomatoes. It says a cross between boxed blue with ambrosia gold, with a sweet and vibrant flavor and aroma, 3/4 inch fruits, numerous trusses on a vigorous plant. So I bought some tomatoes from him, and I'm just growing them out. Blue Blau Zimmer tomato. The Blau Zimmer tomato. This is the Swedish tomato that is 65 days. Do you see that there? And this is a micro dwarf tomato. Bright blue fruits. And they say it's indeterminate. It gives you fruits throughout the season, and into the winter if protected from frost. Well, God bless you, Blau Zimmer tomato, because I'm happy to hear that. And now that I hear that, I'm going to go plant another one. Now that I know it's indeterminate, I planted a few in pots, and I planted some in places to try them in the garden. They tell you not to put micro tomatoes in your garden, but I'm putting some in mine. So, and this is going into my garden at the front, like a flower. So, as well as being planted in a pot. Yeah, because I'm not really a pot person. I don't like needy plants, but this sounds like it's going to be a plant that's not needy. I was given this from somebody because I said I wanted to try some early tomatoes because my issue is my season. The plants get taken out by nematodes. So this is Galenus. They said it grows in Oregon. They don't have nematodes in Oregon, but I do. So here I am planting this yellow cherry. And then this is a favorite cherry for me. Just the old-fashioned heirloom cherry tomato. I love it. I used to love it when it came in the store. It's sweet. It's delicious. It's my jam. So these seeds I got for, I think I paid 25 cents for these seeds. And yeah, I like the grocery store cherry tomato. When it's sweet and homegrown, I'm very happy with it. So I got that. So those are all my cherry tomatoes. Tried and true. This one grows for me all the time. This one grew for me. It's second favorite. Like if this were the only one I had, I'd be fine. Spoon tomatoes isn't on here. I love spoon tomatoes because it gives me lots of tomatoes. It's reliable and it produces it. Mine froze to death and the fruit froze on it. You know, so that spoon tomato has heart, you know. And they say it'll come back, so I didn't plant it this year. I'll be sad if I don't have any, and I won't make that mistake next year if I don't have any spoon tomatoes pop up in my garden. Yeah, it's going to be an issue for me. So God bless you, and I hope that you were inspired by my never-ending growth of tomatoes and the fact that I didn't give up, so that I actually have some tomatoes that grow in my harsh, unbearable situations. And I'm trying to perfect the garden so that more will.